I don't believe in security blankets. I don't believe in cushions. You've got to just go for it. Every big move, especially for a woman, someone's going to come after you.
What if you took bolder risks with your career? What if you walked away from everything you know to leap into something new? That's the question I'm diving into with Julia Haart. I first learned about Julia from her Netflix show, My Unorthodox Life. And on the show, we get to watch her make some bold-ass moves, from leaving her deeply traditional Orthodox Jewish community to becoming the creative director of a lingerie company, to becoming the CEO of a global modeling and talent agency. Julia's bold moves made me think, how many times have I played it safe in my career because I didn't want to rock the boat? Or worse, because I wasn't even aware that I could rock the boat. So let me ask you a question. What bold career move are you not making right now?
If you want to start making bolder moves in your career, one of the first things that you have to do is figure out what the next move is. Like, kind of identify that. And I have a little kind of framework that I personally use with myself to figure out what my next thing is that I want to do. And the thing that I ask myself is, what is one thing that current Tara is terrified to do that future Tara does all the time? Like, that's the framework that I use. And it brings up for me like some really important things. Like, I can think of a few things for me. I want to share a few, but I also want to hear yours. Like, what is the next bold career move that you want to make?
I used to answer exactly like you did. I used to say, follow the fear. Whatever you're most afraid of, that's what you attack. Follow the fear.
Yeah.
I've realized that fear, even if you're using it as a positive to propel yourself forward, is a negative. Because fear, what it does is we're kind of living future scenarios that haven't happened yet, and we're causing ourselves all this panic for no reason.
Yeah, that's what anxiety is, right? Like, you're thinking about too much about the future, then it's anxiety. If you're too much thinking about the past, it's more depression. But yeah, I am more on the anxious side. I'm thinking about the future and what if.
You know, Mark Twain once said, I had many trials and tribulations in my life. Some of them actually happened.
Wait, say that again. I need that to hit.
Because I had many difficulties in my life.
Yeah.
Some of them actually happened, meaning most of them were in here.
In your head.
About difficulties. He worried about things, and our body doesn't know the difference. If we're sweating and panicking, our body doesn't know the difference between it's actually happening to us or we're just imagining it happen to us.
Okay.
It feels uncomfortable because it's new to you. You're not afraid of it. You're excited by it. Follow the uncomfortable.
Got it. And I kind of am hearing you say that you're reframing something that you previously felt. It could be the same thing that comes up for you. If you ask, like, what makes you fearful and what makes you uncomfortable, possibly the same career move or thing you want to do could come up, but it's reframing fear. Actually, no, I'm not afraid. I'm actually just uncomfortable.
That's it.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid of this because I know I'm going to succeed. But yeah, it's uncomfortable to do new things. And the minute I feel like, ooh, this is new, I'm not 100% sure about this, that's what I go for.
If we use your framework then about like what kind of is making you uncomfortable, what is in your own life one kind of bold move that you want to make next that makes you uncomfortable when you think about it?
And my next bold move is I am going to demand that my work is credited to me. I will never allow another man to take ownership or pride in what I have accomplished. And I'm going to scream it from the rooftops until the day I no longer have to scream.
Yeah.
Until the day that people attribute my success to my intellect, my passion, and my gut, my fearlessness. One day, women will be lauded and praised for what they've done and not what they look like. And that's where I'm headed.
Yeah. Like, you have done business with a partner, like a romantic partner. And this is kind of the core of why a lot of this stuff has really bubbled up.
That's it. Never again.
Never again. We're not doing it again.
Never again. My partners in Plus Body are literal strangers that I didn't know. Honestly, I worked 20-hour days. I had all the proof, all the evidence. The man vacationed all day, and I was the bad guy. It was like this. You know why? Because that's a familiar story.
I was going to ask you, why do you think we are so comfortable as a society kind of placing a blame on a woman?
That's the familiar story.
Yeah.
We have to create a world where women succeeding is not unusual. Own what you built.
Yeah.
Don't let love or a man or a woman or anything else take away what you have accomplished. Women are taught, be humble, have humility, no more humbleness. Let men be humble for a change.
Right.
I'm done with being humble.
It's your turn. So this actually goes to one of the other sides of making bold moves. And we'll talk about like how to make bigger moves in your career. But I do want to talk about this other side of it, which is that I think that when you make big moves in life in general, sometimes you get burned a little bit. Like when you're playing big,
after you,
it doesn't always work out. Like some big moves don't pan out. And so I want to hear kind of both sides. I love that you are so willing to be honest about the two sides of this, because we can look at your Netflix show and we can see your career and be like, oh, making big moves, like it's all benefit, it's all plus side, it's all glitz and glam. But I'm also hearing you say like, no, actually, when you put yourself out there and you play big, sometimes you take L's. For example, when you decided to be on TV and start the Netflix show and have this show, do you feel like that initially had some elements of backfiring? Because that's a big, bold move that I'm going to have a show about my life.
I definitely live life at a very, intense, high level, right?
Yeah.
I'm either going to go high or fall big, right? There's no, I don't believe in security blankets. I don't believe in cushions. You've got to just go for it. And I don't think some big moves will have difficulty. I think every big move, especially for a woman, someone's going to come after you.
Yeah.
You got to prepare yourself, because you know what? It makes people uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And and also it tells people, wait, but if she did that without a degree, without knowing in the industry, with literally zero, what's my excuse? And so people will come for you. They will.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I can't believe I'm saying this, but it's the truth. 2.5 years ago, I was full of fear. Today, honestly, like I wake up every morning excited.
I want to go back to the activity that we were talking about, where you take something that you think about, what is the thing that makes current you uncomfortable, but future you is super comfortable with it. I've sort of reframed it out of fear and into comfort. That. And I think for me, there are a handful of things that come up that I'll vulnerably share with you. Okay, I think one of them is I live in Mexico City now, but I would love to also have a place in LA and kind of have like a back and forth. And there's something underneath there for me. There's like a dessert, which is interesting, because I'm from LA, right? But there's a deservability about like living in LA as an adult.
I'm so glad
that's in there. And that's one for me. There's another one of like, I really want to like shave my head and do like a blonde shaved kind of like Amber Rose look. I'm terrified to do that. I'm uncomfortable about doing that. That's another one. And also I think my biggest one is like, I would love to do like a live tour for women about like self-awareness and confidence. So think like almost like Tony Robbins, but like women centered and like feminine and sexy and fun. And like those are some things that I would love to do that I am extremely uncomfortable. Like current Tara is extremely uncomfortable with those things. What is your advice to me about how I kind of take that activity of like things that I'm uncomfortable with and like what do I actually do with that so that I can make those bold moves for myself?
First of all, just wow. You are incredible. I think you are helping so many women. What a beautiful, beautiful, oh my God. So you hit it right when you said it. You said there's a deservability factor. And our entire lives, okay, think about it. Religion, what does religion tell you, right? God, in most religions, is a dude. Okay?
Right, usually.
That's number one. Yeah. He's a guy. And his love is very conditional.
Yes.
You do X, you get Y. You do Z, you get punished, right? This whole idea of we do something and then this mean guy up on top is like, nah, I'm gonna get you.
Yeah.
That's what we've all been taught. We've all been taught that we don't deserve good, that to ask for good is somehow selfish or it makes us egotistical.
Particularly as women, we learn that.
As women specifically, right? Think about every single word that describes a successful woman. They're all negatives. Boss, bitch.
Yeah.
Bad ass bitch. How are those positives? Like, it's always negative. When a man is great at sharing a vision and convincing people, he's charismatic.
Right.
When a woman is great at convincing people, she's a seductress.
So it's baked into your language, right? Which is why the imposter syndrome, the deservability is what I'm hearing you say, kind of baked in there for me, and it's coming up.
Literally in the weft and grain of society.
Yeah.
It's in the way we talk about women's success. It's the way religion talks about women's success. It's all about, but who do you think you are that you deserve this?
Is there anything that we can do as women to kind of push against that? Because I really see you doing that work. Like, what can you do?
I did the work.
Yeah.
Honestly, meditation, because it teaches you, number one, that you can control your destiny. But it also teaches you that God is not this mean guy.
Yeah.
And that women, what the universe wants from us is to be the best versions of ourselves, not to live in fear, not to live in lack, but to have this inner strength that nothing can touch. And I've been meditating every day for the last year and a half.
Yeah.
No, since January, so of 2023. So like
just
a year and 9 months
that
now.
Groundedness.
And I'm telling you, it is a game changer, because I don't wake up every morning thinking I don't deserve this anymore. I wake up every morning thinking I deserve this, and I'm going to do good things with it.
And is that mainly just because you're more connected to yourself and your inner spirit? And so you're not, I think usually we think those things when we're misaligned with ourselves and our inner beings, when we're disconnected from that, then that's when all the noises and the voices start coming in about I don't deserve it. But when you're connected, you're less likely to get distracted by that.
Well, I think it's even more than that. This guy, Dr. Joe Dispenza, I do his meditations.
I'm a huge Joe Dispenza fan. I've been to multiple meditation retreats.
So you know what I'm talking about.
So much of my life has changed because of Joe Dispenza.
Me too. My entire life has changed. And one of my favorite things he says is your personality affects your personal reality.
That's right.
Not vice versa. We are always reactive. We think what's going on out here, and then we react to that. But the reality is, it's what we're feeling in here that creates the out here. So if we can change that thinking, and we can, right? You can control your hands. You can control your arms. You can control your thoughts. You can control your emotion. I used to say that I'm a nishtahir, neither here nor there, right? I don't belong in my old world, but I don't belong in this world also because my story is so strange that it's hard to, and for the first time in my life, I feel like I belong, but not to a society or a place. I feel like I belong, I know this is going to sound so dorky, but to the freaking universe.
Yeah.
I just feel connected, and that's what gives you strength, and it kills the imposter syndrome. It kills it dead. It kills it dead.
I love that your answer to how do you overcome imposter syndrome was meditation. I think that so many people are looking for a very different answer. They're looking for a different type of tactic. And there are some tactical things that you can do, but I think at the core of what you're saying, it's really about getting connected to yourself and knowing who you are. Because when you're connected to yourself, you're not feeling that imposter syndrome. There's one way that I like to push myself to be bolder and to really be more connected to myself, which is to create these little micro challenges for myself to get more comfortable being uncomfortable.
But that's what you're talking about. You're talking about being uncomfortable and enjoying it. That's the secret sauce. That's all you need. You are a fighter because you like the uncomfortable. You jump into it. You are literally swimming in that.
Yeah, I'm freaked out while I do it. But yeah, that's right. I want to ask you about when you were sort of mustering up the courage to leave your community and some of your family, was there a little micro challenge that you gave yourself to get comfortable with, or a little bit more comfortable with the uncomfortable of that situation?
Well, what I would say is, it's funny. You are so insightful. I love the way your mind works. There's this story in my old community. There was this rabbi who was conscripted to the Russian army. And in the extremist version of my religion, on Saturday, on Shabbos, if something is hanging on or touching a tree, you can't take it off.
Okay.
Don't Don't ask. Anyway, so this guy put his coat on a little tree branch, and this is Russia, middle of the cold winter, and he didn't realize it was Shabbos, and when he did, he couldn't take it off. He wouldn't take it out.
Okay.
So he couldn't put on a coat. And how did he make it through the day when it was literally like 2 below zero? He kept on saying, I'll take it in 5 minutes. I'll take it in 5 minutes. I'll take it in 5 minutes. And this is what I've learned. Sometimes something is so big that it seems insurmountable. Yeah. Break it down into 5. I'm going to work on this for this amount of time. I'm going to try this little step.
Yeah.
That's it. I don't have to worry about the big unknown. I'm just going to take one step into the unknown. And then I'm going to take my next little step. You know, people always say to me, Julia, how do you walk in those shoes? And I always say, right foot, left foot, right foot, left foot, one step at a time. So just break down your big thing into tiny little increments.
Yeah.
Because saying, for example, if like you're on a diet, if you say, I'm never eating pizza again, your body's literally going to be like, pizza, 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 pizza.
Yeah.
However, if you say, I'm not going to eat pizza for 5 minutes, doesn't seem bad. Your body's not going to fight you. And that's what it is. You got to hack yourself.
Yeah.
Just say, I'm going to give a presentation just once. One presentation. That's all.
Yeah.
And then, okay, hey, I did it. I'm going to give a bigger presentation in front of more people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Take it in little tiny increments. Break it down into palatable little pieces that make life way less scary. And then the big thing just becomes a bunch of little things that coalesce together.
There's an activity I do with myself on Mondays. I call them like courage sprints, because one of the things that's usually really hard for me is like reaching out to people and connecting people. I'm in tech. I like to be on my computer working. And so the relationship part, like I have to challenge myself to do that. So most of my courage sprints that I do on Monday are like sending the email follow-up or reaching out to this person, because I've got to like push myself to do that. But there's so many opportunities because those connections are related to a big, bold move that I want to make, right? Or a connection that I want to foster.
Those moves are the bold move, even though you break it down into small pieces, and so it
just one email, just one send,
one email, right? And it really helps because you know our bodies are programmed in certain ways. Let's hack it to use it in our benefit instead of to our detriment.
Now you're working on some new businesses. Are there any one small moves that you're working on for yourself?
I am not good at asking people for help.
Yeah.
I'm not. It's
me neither. You know, it's a lot of us.
It's hard. Yeah. It's hard. It feels like I'm strong. I don't need anybody. But the truth of the matter is we all need somebody. It literally takes a village. And so my challenge that I face, and I'm, again, still working on it because this is still very, very hard for me.
Yeah.
Is saying to someone, hey, I could use your help.
Yeah.
Ooh, those words like, bleh. But you do need other people's help. And, you know, I'm so blessed. Every person that so like my main team in La Perla was my main team in EWG. They're now my main team in Body by Julia Haart. Like my people stay with me through literally hell and whatever. They don't leave because they know I'm as loyal to them as they are to me. And when I needed help, they helped me, and they know that, you know, reward comes their way. And
so are they helping you kind of work on some small little things to kind of move things forward?
Exactly. Like, so for example, like, you know, when I was working on Body by Julia Haart, our first collection, you know, was a huge success. And we could have just done the second collection and easily sold it and blah, blah, blah. However, my audience, my women, I mean, that's how I feel like we're all, you know, what I love about the fact that because people know me, when they buy the product, they DM me, they text me, and they share their experiences with me. And because of that, I get a chance to actually give women exactly what they want. And so the second collection, I got 3 constant comments from women. Number 1 was, Julia, it's too expensive. We can't afford it. We really want to buy your product, but it's an undergarment, and to spend $198 on an undergarment is too expensive for us. And I heard that, and it bothered me because I want as many. I mean, obviously, I have to run a business; it has to be successful. Right. But I want to do it in a way that as many women as humanly possible can afford it. So that was one. And number 2 was, I made shapewear that you could wear out that was beautiful for the first time in history. Like, it had patterns and colors. You could stretch it from here to eternity. It didn't budge, but I made it tight, right? Because I thought, I was thinking like wedding, special occasion. And the other thing people ask is, well, yes, sometimes we do, but sometimes we just want everything to be held in place. So I decided to go back and make a bunch of multiple different levels of compression. And the last one was, to me, the best. And this, like, thousands of women came to me and wrote this to me. And I was like, oh my God, this is genius. And that's what I mean about getting help from others. They said to me, Julia, if you've devised a way that you can make colors and patterns and things, and it's still shapewear, why are you making us wear shapewear at all? Put it in the clothing themselves. Give us something that it's all one piece. And by the way, Julia, we hate bras. Get rid of the strap. So that's what I did. I went back to the drawing board, and, it delayed, obviously, our second drop, which is going to be at the end of the year. I have created ready-to-wear tank tops, camisoles, bodysuits, regular things.
Yes.
Where the bra is built in. You buy a small with a D cup or a small with an A cup. You buy an extra large with a C cup. It's literally not just a bralette. It's your bra is built inside. And we are going from extra small to extra, extra, extra large, from an A cup to a double F.
What I'm hearing you say is that instead of immediately going straight to the second launch, your small micro challenge for yourself was to just ask for feedback on the first one, which is a really good...
I would say the micro challenge was to listen to the feedback.
Listen to the feedback. You had already gotten the feedback. It was coming in. So just to sit with it for a moment.
But listen to it, not say, wow, but I'm already making all this in sales. Why should I care? Right? Because I could have done that easily. And I had to explain to my investors, like, guys, I know it's going to delay things a little bit, but what these women are asking for is true. It makes sense to me. I want to give it to them.
I have a slightly nuanced question. Was the challenge to listen to the feedback and then make a decision about it? Or was the challenge to just listen to the feedback?
Listen to the feedback and make a decision about it.
Okay.
Again, instead of selling in May, where I could have made a lot of money, we're moving it to the end of the year. So I had to make that decision as a business person to take a little bit of pain now to be able to create something that every woman, that's the dream. Every woman will feel beautiful in. What's the first thing you do when you get home? You unhook your bra. Well, my thing, everybody does. I've seen it everywhere I go. You do that thing and you go, oh. Well, because the bra is built inside clothing, the structure of the clothing holds the bra in place, so there's no strap.
Yeah. I want to invite our audience to join in on this conversation. So if you come to YouTube, we can see what you're posting in the comments. This is a really inspiring conversation. So I want to hear from everyone. What is one big, bold move that you want to make in your life? And one micro challenge, one decision. I think Julia's giving really good examples of just make a decision on something, get the feedback and make a decision. But what is one micro challenge you could make yourself, you give yourself to help you further this bold move that you want to make along? So again, what's the one bold move you want to make in your life or in your career? And one micro challenge you could give yourself to push that forward? One thing I think is also really helpful is to have accountability to help you move forward with things. When I started my entrepreneurship, this was like 10 years ago when I started my first company, I had a friend, Thomas, who we would text each other. And essentially he was like my hotline where I would be like, this is so hard. I want to quit. I can't do it. And he would kind of let me do that. And then always at the end of the conversation, he would say something like, yeah, but you're not going to do it though. You're not going to quit. And that was such amazing accountability because number one, I knew that I could say all these things about how hard it was, but also know that my friend was going to give me space to be accountability, to be present in my emotions, but also accountability to be resilient in the bold moves that I wanted to make. And other people that I might have talked to might have been like, okay, if you want to quit, let's make a plan for quitting. And he never really, if I really wanted to do that, maybe he would have helped me with that, but he knew that I didn't really want to.
We don't quit.
Yeah. And so it was just accountability for that. That helped me so much. When you think about your career and your life, what kinds of accountability systems have been helpful for you?
Again, I'm a very internally focused, meaning I want to be self-sufficient and self-reliant. However, I don't think I could have done this without my family. I mean, my kids are all involved in every business I do, and my team. I mean, it really does take a village. I am so blessed with the people. Like you said, you have that person you go to.
Yeah.
I've got a group of people that when I'm feeling down or I'm feeling lost, I call them and they smack me back into shape and they're like, Julia, come on, get up. No fetching. No fetching. And I think we all need that person that we can go to who reminds us how strong we are. Who reminds us that we don't quit, that we don't fail. Everyone needs a person like that, whether it's your friend or your sibling or your parent or the love of your life. You need someone, like you said, you could pick up the phone and say, hey.
Yeah. As my entrepreneurship has evolved, what I want my accountability system to look like has changed. So I think at the beginning, it was like I needed a place to be like, I want to quit. This is so hard, and get, support for that. I think that maybe in the middle of my journey thus far, in the middle of it, I needed a little bit more, or maybe I didn't need, but I was gravitating towards a little bit more like, I don't know, more military style. Like, here's the thing. Did you do it? Did you get it done? And I think I thought that was what I needed to like kind of force my way through a thing.
Understood.
And I think I learned, actually, ultimately, long term, that's not a good way for me to have accountability. I was part of like a mastermind group that was very kind of like, did you get it done? You didn't get it done. Would embarrass you for not getting it done. I think I am very like internally motivated on my own. That is one good quality that I love about myself.
You're Dr. Joe. Like you have to be, I mean, I'm so happy to hear that because then you get where I'm going.
I totally get where you're coming from. I think one of the ways that I've liked to be held accountable, particularly by my girlfriends now, is when we do just like we do check-ins on like, hey, tell me how that project is that you've been talking about. And when I know that I'm going to be around some of my girlfriends, we have like a text group where I'm not sure you're going to like this name. We just talked about this. It's called the Bad Bitch Support Group. Maybe we need to be the good bitch. But I think there's some power in reclaiming it, right?
We reclaimed it.
We'll take it. Yeah, if I'm gonna, So
but it still pisses me off that we've had to.
Totally. So in that group, like we will frequently ask each other, hey, you remember you said that project you were working on, how's that going? And I know that I'm gonna be asked that by my friends in that group. And what it's good for is I know, like, girl, you better get some progress on it so that you have a good answer for it. And that, I think that is really helpful for me in like a lighter way that I know that like my friends are going to check in on me.
You challenge each other. You guys are basically acting as one another's little lightning rod to challenge one another to be the best versions of yourself.
But everybody in that group is making big, bold moves. And so that's maybe like a good thing to do to help you push you in that direction.
Love that.
Yeah.
I love that. That's actually fabulous. That's using competitive spirit in the most positive, collaborative way. Really?
Yeah, that's right. So if you had to give advice to women entrepreneurs, business women who want to make bolder moves in their career, what would be your advice to them?
Number one, just acknowledge and accept that everyone's going to tell you can't do it. Yeah. You're going to get so many naysayers. There's only one way to combat that I know, and it's your voice has to be louder than theirs. To me, it's like my voice has to be heard so that all those people who are telling me, I don't know, you got to ignore those. And the only way to ignore those is because you know what? Things seep in. You hear a lie enough times, it starts sounding like the truth.
Yeah.
And the only way to stop it is to say, I don't accept that.
Yeah. And because so kind of going to the mirror to tell yourself and remind yourself of the energy that you want to step into and be in, and the words is really helpful. Okay. Yeah. That's really 100%.
Good. And then I would say the other piece of advice I would give is have your goal in front of your head.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I don't know of any other way. 24 hours a day. You have to eat it, sleep it, want it, think about it, dream about it. It has to be so important to you that it is impossible for it not to happen.
Yeah.
You have to want it so badly that you can't imagine that it won't succeed. And that, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right? Always. So you have to constantly be thinking about it and measure every action of yours as to whether that moves you closer to that goal or further away. If you're doing something and it's not actually helping that goal, stop doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. Because what your attention is on is the thing that you bring into life. That's right.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay. Beautiful. This is so helpful. Thank you so much for these tips. And we have to talk more too about Dr. Joe Dispenza and his
first
work.
of all, you're so cool. Oh my
Thank you.
God.
You're so cool. I followed your career and watched your show, and I'm familiar with you and your work. So I'm really excited to be talking to you.
I'm very happy to be here. I've really enjoyed this. Like, your questions are so incredibly thoughtful and interesting.
Thank you. Well, I'm hoping that folks are listening to this, and a lot of the folks who listen to this show are people who make bold moves, women who make bold moves. And so I'm excited to see how you inspire them and what new actions take place as a result of this conversation. Thank you so much.
Thank you.